We're back.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I like your Blue Jays hat.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Woods and Whitey back to Talk Kings and maybe a little bit of 49ers as well. I also wore my the Royale shirt I was telling you about.
Okay.
As well to show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, supposedly it's bad luck, but
bring him back. What the heck? It's not like it's been good luck since he left.
Right, double negative, right? Maybe to turn out to be a positive or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to see you as always. I appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir. You too. Happy holidays. You all done with your Christmas shopping and?
No, but I think I got it under control. Yeah. I can manage it,
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I'm done, but I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for the festive holiday gifts from.
Yeah, I thought I'd get in the Christmas spirit and bring us some Starbucks today. So today's also payday, so I had a couple.
That's right.
I had a couple dollars in the bank, so I decided to use it. But you have kids, right?
I have two daughters. My wife and I have two daughters. They're not little kids anymore. They're all grown up, but yeah.
Yeah. They don't live with you or anything.
No. They live in town, but not with us.
Do they come over for holidays and stuff?
Yeah. We see them a lot. We're lucky.
And hopefully, I'm not being too nosy, but are you guys gonna cook? What are you gonna cook? For what do you cook for Christmas?
Well, one day on Christmas morning, we're going to one of my daughter's houses, and I'm not sure for breakfast. I'm not sure what she's going to have. The night before, we're having people at our house, and we have my wife's family coming, and people are bringing things. I've just heard something about lasagna. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. Lasagna for Christmas, that's fine.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of things. So
yeah, like a little potluck. Yeah. Well, traditionally, I used to do like a ham. I like the honey glazed ham. I used to make a honey glazed ham usually for Christmas. Now, my wife, she's not really into ham and pork. She likes pork, but not ham and certain ham pork things. But so sometimes we'll do like a prime rib, or we'll just kind of change it up and just have some type of other meat.
Christmas or Christmas Eve or both, or
we usually cook for what do we do? Not Christmas Eve. We don't really do much for Christmas Eve. We usually do everything on Christmas. Open presents that morning, cook that day. So Christmas Eve is just another day usually. Just waiting, anticipating for the next day to open up some presents.
Yeah, we used to open everything on Christmas Eve, and my mom was Lutheran, and we were brought up Lutheran, and I think that's kind of a Lutheran thing that you do things on Christmas Eve. But it was kind of like, well, wait, if Santa's coming on Christmas Eve, how did he already bring me something? Right. But it was cool.
Like, this gift is from us, and Santa will bring some gifts later. Yeah. And then we usually do, we do a turkey for Thanksgiving. We do a ham for Christmas, and then prime rib for New Year's. But
goodness.
Yeah.
We have the meat.
I know, right? Those prime ribs, man, they're usually like $75 just for a couple of the ribs, Yeah, and we're not balling, so we got to keep the cost low this year. But anyway, let's talk about our beloved Kings, right?
Yeah.
The wonderful Kings. The Kings are 1-8 in the last 9 games.
They got robbed last night. Robbed, I tell you.
Think so?
Yeah, that I've seen a lot more contact let go by the officials, not called. So that's unfortunate. Unfortunate way to lose a game. When you think the game's over and you think you've won. Not you think, oh, we're going to win, but when you think, oh, we won, and then, wait, what? Those are tough.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see the game last night. I have it recorded, and I started watching it before I left, but I didn't get to the end.
I think a lot of people didn't get to the end because they were so far behind.
Yeah. Just kind of left the game.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see what happened, so I don't know. Tell me.
They came back. They were down, 15 with like 2 minutes to go? And that's like with this team, forget it.
Yeah.
They came back, they got some steals, they scored. Blazers missed some free throws. They forced overtime, and then with a big 3 by DeRozan. And then in overtime, DeRozan gives them a 1-point lead with just seconds left, and Denny Avdija gets the ball, puts his head down, and drives to the basket.
And they call foul at the last
kind of runs between Keon and Westbrook, and there's some contact there, but he was the one that initiated a lot of it. He missed, and like I say, the Kings thought, you can see they arms
Game over.
raised.
Game over.
They'd won.
Yeah.
And then they see that Mark Davis had called a foul, and Abdia, to his credit, made both free throws, and Keon had a desperate heave that didn't go in, and another loss.
That's
maybe the toughest of all the losses.
Yeah, that one sounds pretty tough right there, especially when they don't call fouls at the end of games, or they're not supposed to. Supposedly, unwritten rule, right?
Yeah.
So,
but it's the Kings. They call everything on the Kings.
I know. It's like, it seems so unfair. And then I see some of the guys, they're like, "Where's the foul at?" When it's like any other team would get called for the same foul. Westbrook's out there getting slapped all over the place on his drives to the basket, and DeRozan getting hit. And I think they're probably used to getting calls, but when you're on the Kings, you don't get calls.
Maybe, yeah. Or at least that's what they believe. I do think that perhaps one of the reasons they called the foul on Westbrook late in the final second was because he had been complaining so much. But I don't know. I mean, maybe. I could see the official going, "Oh, you've been giving me a hard night."
Yeah.
That's foul on you.
You think they do that?
Who knows? They're people.
They're human, right? They're human with human feelings, right?
Yeah. Did you see what Puka Nacua said about officials? The Rams receiver. He said he thinks sometimes they call things just to get on TV.
And there were NBA refs where people would say that about. They're not really there anymore, but there was a few refs that were so dramatic. It always seemed like, they were calling fouls and being loud and demonstrative, like they wanted the attention, People would say, the attention should be on the players, not on the refs.
That's right.
But they're not around anymore. And the refs now, they seem pretty, in the NBA, they seem pretty low key. They seem pretty quiet now. A lot of younger refs, too, I noticed. A lot of newer guys. So you charged me with the task of coming up with some takes.
Yeah.
And
at least two.
I do have a couple takes.
Hot takes.
I do. So one of my takes I have is, so I noticed a little bit of, the rotation changes a little bit last night and past couple games.
Kings, yeah.
Yeah. And
Chua started last night, and DeRozan slid to the 2 guard in the starting lineup.
And they have Ronaldo up there, and they had Keegan Murray. And they, at one point, had Keegan Murray playing small forward. Right.
With a Chua as a 4.
Or I guess he was playing. He started as a small forward. Yeah, he started as a small forward. So I like that. And my strong take is, okay, Ronaldo's playing really good right now. We're waiting for Sabonis to come back. But when Sabonis comes back, let Ronaldo start with Sabonis. That's one of my strong takes. I feel like, and we've talked about it before, our guy upstairs, Kyle Ledbetter, always talks about having a tall and a big, which I agree to that, to a certain degree. In this new NBA, a lot of people are doing that. Ronaldo next to Sabonis. And then Keegan can play small. They can start whoever they want at 2 guard. I mean, I don't know if it would be Levine when he gets back. DeMar DeRozan could do it. Malik Monk could even do it. And then their point guard, which now they're starting Westbrook. And just keep it like that. Keep it like that for the rest of the season. I wonder if Doug would do that. Let's see how that looks. Let's play around with that a little bit for.
Hopefully, some of those guys will be traded.
Yeah, by then,
around for the whole year.
That's true. By the time Sabonis comes back, I'm not even sure when he's supposed to come back. When Sabonis,
he should be getting reevaluated if it's not happening right now. Any day now. So we may hear, like I said, right when we finish this, we may hear he's good to go. So it could happen at any day, but we just don't know.
And if it happens anytime soon, I want to see that. I want to see them start together. Ronaldo is developing great. He had how much? 35 points left? 33 points?
I think he had 25.
Was it 25?
Yeah.
I thought he got into the 30s. But yeah, I mean, he scores. People say he needs to lift weights or get stronger or whatever. I mean, Put a strong guy next to him. Put the big next to him. He'll be the tall. Put the big next to him. He's a great shooter. He's more the new style of NBA center, in my opinion. Yeah. Or power forward, however.
He shot a lot of threes in college. He hasn't shot a lot of threes here yet, but if he can do that, I think maybe the two of them can play together. And if he doesn't, you don't want both of them down low and clogging things up. So
right, and I don't think he'll do like that. I think Ronaldo could, he could run the baseline, or Sabonis could run the baseline, and Ronaldo could run, that corner elbow game all the way up to 3. He's a decent shooter, so I think it could work out. I'd like to see it. I'd like to at least see how it looks. Ronaldo is not so down low dominant to where he would. I don't think he would clog up the hole. I think they would kind of know to kind of be like opposite magnets, you know?
Yeah, some high-low stuff.
Yeah.
Domas can just stay. I know before the season started, they said he was going to play more high post, so maybe that would fit right in.
And that's what it
we'll
seemed.
See.
That's what it seemed like he did a lot of, you know. And what happened to the dribble handoff? You know, the DHO. You know, I haven't seen much of that this year. And DeMar DeRozan was saying, you know, he can kill people with that. You know, why aren't we seeing that much of the dribble? Or obviously Sabonis is out right now, but earlier in the season, I didn't see a lot of dribble handoff or cuts. You know, cut around Sabonis. Let him give you that little that screen and the handoff for the open shot. You know, that's an easy way to get some buckets. You know, even with Levine. You know, he can do it. He can use that too. It just doesn't seem like Sabonis and Levine have very much chemistry. They don't really seem to like each other very much.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know it's just things haven't fit well together. I think one of the reasons they're not running as many DHOs is because that is something that was based on Domas being there, and you still see it occasionally. But I think that's one reason they're running more. I think, you know, like 5 out, dribble drive motion stuff. So maybe when Domas is back, maybe it'll creep back in to the offense a little more.
Yeah.
He's such a good passer.
Right. And then some of the news I've been hearing lately is people are in the locker room or somebody's unhappy with Doug Christie or they're not gelling too well. The chemistry, they're not liking his coaching. Something's going on in the locker room with Doug Christie. And in my opinion, it's like, you know, what have any of these guys done to be able to even speak on Doug Christie's coaching style, you know?
I think, there's supposedly a disconnect between some of the veterans and Coach Doug Christie and his staff. That's what was, you know, reported. There's a lot of things there. Some veterans, which ones? We don't know. How many? We don't know.
Right.
Disconnect with Doug Christie and his staff. Is it Doug Christie? Is it the staff? What does that mean? They just don't agree with everything? So, you know, it sounds bad, and it's certainly not a good thing, but it's just vague enough where I'm just not willing to judge anything yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly we're talking about here.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're right. It's like, who are they talking about? Who is it that's saying it? And, you know, what's the issue? Or do they feel like they're being pushed too hard? Like, the things I see from Doug Christie, he's asking these guys to play defense. You know, he wants these guys to.
Maybe that's the problem.
I know, right? It's like
some of these guys.
Is he pushing these guys too hard? Like, what's up with that? You know, I thought it was kind of weird.
The whole thing's weird because you've got these veteran players and you're trying to kind of move off of them and go in a new direction with all the younger players. But as long as the veterans are here, you're going to play them. So I think it's a really hard job for Coach Christie and for the veterans too. You know, a guy like DeMar DeRozan, I want to win something. I'm here and it's clear you don't want me around much longer. So get me out of here so I can get on with things because he doesn't have that many years left. So, and the young players are kind of stuck. I think it's a tough situation, honestly, for everybody.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And Doug Christie was definitely put into a hard situation. He feels like he's like a college coach. You know, I feel like he'd be great with a team full of young guys. You know, he might be more too. I don't want to say too demanding, but you know, he's probably demanding a lot of some of these veterans, and I feel like he wants these veterans to show the young guys how to be. You know, how to play. You know, and it's unfortunate if it's the veterans that are complaining. You know, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, we don't know what a disconnect is, but. You know, we know that Westbrook plays hard, and DeMar DeRozan, like I said, it's a tough situation for him, but he's playing very hard and he's playing really well. He's very consistent. He's having a really good year in the midst of all this, you know, these difficult situations and all this disconnect, and he's pretty connected.
I noticed that, and he had a lot of points last night. I feel like DeMar is still playing. He's still playing hard. He takes pride in his game, you know, and maybe he wants to stay. Maybe he wants to be here.
Ooh, I wouldn't think so. I guess it's possible.
Now
that's a hot take. DeMar wants to stay. Wow.
Well, I appreciate him taking pride in his game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, so I guess Fox supposedly said he only stays in contact with Keegan Murray.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we want from him. He was asked if that's true. It's like, okay, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with the Kings anymore. Obviously, he's gone, but it's just interesting. It's just so that whole situation when Fox got traded, it's just a weird situation to me. Like, he's so much happier now. The grass is so much greener where he's at now. Like, come on, dude, get out of here. You know, we wanted you to be the man here. You know, you should have been the man. And I mean, it's been years, whatever. Maybe he didn't have confidence in the management, but shut up already.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was asked. I mean,
you're not friends with Malik Monk. You damn near grew up with Malik Monk.
There could be something interesting there. Remember, we saw De'Aaron's wife last year, late in the year, and she looked like she was having a very serious conversation with Malik. And I know he was asked about that. I was in the interview room when he was asked about that. And
really?
He just said, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about basketball. Huh. So I don't know. I mean, there's some circumstantial evidence that there was some sort of falling out there, but who knows?
Wow.
That's kind of very gossipy.
Yeah, it is like personal life stuff, kind of like almost private life. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
and then I mean, Fox was so happy when we got Sabonis. Now what? They're not cool anymore. Like they don't talk anymore. It's just like whatever, dude. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. That team got split last year.
Yeah,
and De'Aaron wanted Mike Brown, and some guys on the team didn't, and that'll split a team.
Yeah. So you think it's the whole coaching thing?
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Time heals all wounds. We'll see.
Yeah. So, do you think fans have went ahead and realized that this is not going to be a winning team, and kind of laid back, kind of settled off, and just maybe rooting for this team for the development, and just because it's their team at this point?
Sure seems like it, don't you think? I mean, it's hard to look at this and imagine, they'll win all the rest of their games.
Or half their games and still get to the play-in.
Even if they win half of the rest of their games, that puts them at
this point
34 or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because this looks like it's not going to take many wins to get into the play-in. So maybe in some ways, maybe they should have waited one more year.
Right.
I think fans were divided coming even into this season. Oh, they should tank. No, they should see how many games they can win. And I get the sense that most fans now are all feeling like, this is not pleasant, but it's the best thing to do given where they are, is to try to rebuild with the young guys.
And even Doug Christie and maybe some of the people in the front office, I feel like had really high expectations. Doug Christie wanted these guys to win at all costs, play defense at all costs. And it's just not turning out that way, And
injuries hurt him too.
Yeah. And he was in front of the media a lot, and now he's kind of calmed down. I think even Doug realizes, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's got to be tough for him. What can he say? Especially last night, he didn't want to get fined. They actually almost won a game, and he just said, I can't tell you what I think.
Right.
Tough year for him.
Yeah, it is.
For everybody, for fans too.
And I would hate to see Doug only get this one season to try. Give him another season. Let him. This is not the right season to judge Doug Christie on. I don't think.
He'd have to do some really
crazy stuff
above and beyond, cross the line stuff, I think, to get fired this year.
Yeah.
So I think he'll get next year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think just like the general manager is evaluating everything, he's evaluating the coach too.
Yeah. And I wanted Doug to be the head coach. I don't know. I don't know if he's really that offensive orientated. I don't really see them call many plays. What about you? Do you think they have offensive sets and they call plays? It almost seems like they kind of go out there and kind of do their own thing, kind of have a general set.
I think they run some motion offense stuff. So it's more like, this is the offense we're in and there's rules for it, rather than the coach saying, just
run this play.
Yeah.
Run this play.
But they just don't seem like they run it very well. I think things break down. They break down into one-on-one stuff. And I know that makes the coach look bad. It's like he's not giving them any offense.
Right.
But I think sometimes it's not so much the coach. It's just
the players
some of
really
the players
they
don't have faith in it or each other, or they have no chemistry.
Yeah.
And things just start to break down into my turn, your turn, one stuff.
And that's what it like almost like triangle offense, almost just solo, just go solo. If you could get the shot, you get the shot.
It's also hard with a guy like DeMar DeRozan, because if he's going to be on your team, you want to get the best out of him. There's times when, especially in the games, that's what he does best, is some of that ISO stuff. And you go through him. And I know the Kings did that at times last year, and a lot of fans complained and said, everything's slowing down. And I understand that. But if he's on your team,
that's what you use him for.
That's what he does best.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree. And I'm not one of those people that want DeMar off the team. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's great in the half court, and he would be great if we did make the playoffs, because the game slows down a lot in the playoffs, and it's more of half court, a lot more half court. It's harder to make buckets, and you kind of need that kind of player that can back a guy up and turn around and hit a 15-footer or a 10-footer, you know. Sometimes that's the best shot you can get in a half-court offense.
Okay, you just said if the Kings make the playoffs. Earlier you said DeMar might want to stay here. We may have to check what you're drinking. Because I don't know what's in there.
No, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but that was my thinking, you know, like before the season.
In theory,
when we first got him.
Theoretically,
when we first got him, he'd be great for the playoffs and half-court sets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Currently,
I got you.
I got and maybe that's why he looks so good. No, I didn't have any rum in this one. I should
Okay, all right, okay.
No rum in there, but yeah.
Can't wait to have mine now.
Go ahead and have a sip, man. Drink some. I don't want it to get cold on you, man. Go ahead and have some.
It's okay.
I could cut it all out. I could cut whatever out, you know. I could cut anything out, you know. Want to down your Danish real quick? Go for it, man. I only got a couple more questions for you. I don't want to hold you up. I know you got to go prepare for your show and stuff. One of the other things on here that I have is I couldn't believe it, but the Kings are really bad. They're not only bad on defense, they're also bad on offense. And ESPN actually has them ranked 29th in the whole league overall, which the only team worse than the Kings was the Wizards. Do you feel like that's a really low ranking, or do you feel like that's about right? The Kings are probably the second worst team in the whole league.
It's close to being right if it's not right. You know, we could quibble about this team or that team towards the bottom. There's some bad teams in the league this year.
Yeah.
But I know before the whole season really fell off the table, a lot of people were asking, is this team, are they really that bad or are they just unlucky? And I thought, no, that's legit. They're that bad. And it's just starting to come apart now with the potential trades. So there's upside to that because then you get more ping pong balls and all that. But I think that's legit. They're not a good shooting team. And also they've, having Zach LaVine hurt last night and having Domas miss for what's it been, a month now, that's a serious blow to any team, but especially a team that's already not that deep.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like you said, I didn't think they would be this bad. I thought they'd be middle of the road somewhere, middle of the NBA somewhere. Mm-hmm. But that's probably about right with how bad they've been playing. They're probably one of the bottom 4 worst teams, which is great for draft stock. Hopefully we can get a draft pick. Maybe we might even get the number 1 draft pick. Yeah. I don't know if it really means much this draft. I don't know if there's that unicorn guy. It seems like there's about 3 or 4 guys about the same level.
There's some pretty good players. Yeah. So it would be. They need that infusion of youth and talent. So hopefully they can hit in the lottery.
Yeah. And then as far as trades, what is there anything out there that you really want to see happen, or anything that you can see happening, or the first guy you think should probably be taken off this team, traded for some type of draft capital, or maybe even another player? What do you think the top thing the Kings could do right now as far as a trade or something?
I think if they can get off of Zach LaVine, that would be tremendous because they owe him so much money and he just doesn't have a future here. That would be great. That would free things up for next year and help them to move forward. I don't know that it necessarily makes them better right now.
But what do you think they can get for LaVine?
I don't know.
Who would you want, or would you rather just have all draft capital?
If you can get a young player, like if you could do something with Milwaukee and they take him, and then, you got to match all the salaries and stuff. So you'd have to take some stuff back, maybe some stuff that they don't want. But if you get a young player like Ryan Rollins, I think that'd be tremendous. Also, according to Mark Stein, writing yesterday, says the Kings are telling teams that they don't want to attach any draft picks to players. Like, they don't want to say,
we don't want to give up
so-and-so, we'll give you 2 seconds to take them.
Great.
Now, hopefully they, everyone says that. Hopefully it's true. They're also saying they don't want to use Keon as a sweetener. Like, here, take Zach LaVine, for example, and we'll give you Keon just to take him. They're saying they don't want to do that. Now, it's not up to them necessarily. They may not have a choice, but I hope they don't have to do that.
And I like that plan. Scott Perry, I think that's a great plan. We don't want to give up any of our draft capital. We need as many young guys to come in here, develop, be hungry for us, and we probably don't want to trade player for player. I mean, who can we really bring in that's going to make the team better? Unless they're maybe a super defensive big or some big superstar or something like that, which isn't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So probably draft capital, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the Kings can get for LaVine? As far as picks, how many
picks?
And type of picks.
If they got a first, like a really good first, if they got another lottery ticket, I think that'd be tremendous.
So just one?
Yes, because his contract is so big. It's not like, like when Donovan Mitchell got traded or Rudy Gobert and the Jazz got all these picks. It's because his contract is so big that, it's going to be hard to get a lot back for him. Like 3 number ones for Zach LaVine. I just
don't think they can do that?
Way you're going to get anything like that.
Maybe 2?
I don't think so. That would be tremendous.
A first and a second?
That would be good. Yeah, especially if it's unprotected, but that's going to be tough.
You don't think so?
It's really just, look, will you take him and relieve us of this burden? Yeah. And then if they can work that out without having to give up a lot to get somebody to take him, I think that's a win. And that's nothing against him. It's just the reality of it now.
And I think that's a good plan by Scott Perry. Get younger. We don't want to give up any of our picks. It sounds like he might be trying to keep Keon Ellis.
Yeah, it's hard. We don't know. There's a lot of demand for him. And so the Kings have to look.
If we could
get where we're going,
If we could get a first rounder, yes.
Yeah, we talked to Bobby Marks this week. Bobby Marks from ESPN, who used to be in NBA front offices. He said he doesn't think they'll get a 1 for him. Maybe they will, but he says, maybe a couple 2s that are higher or lower, depending on how you look at it. Better second round picks. I hope they don't, but they just have to look at Keon is what he is right now. He's a really good player, but we're not that good. We don't get the full benefit of him. Other teams that are closer to being contenders look at that and go, man, that guy would really help us. So they have to consider, well, what are we going to get back? I hope they don't trade him, but if they do, I guess I see why they're considering it, but I hope they don't.
Yeah, and there's guys that I don't want touched. There's guys I don't want to leave the team. Ronaldo, obviously. I want them to try to work with Sabonis still. A lot of people want him gone. They don't think he's effective, but I want him to stay. I think he can be effective for us still. Keegan Murray, he should stay. Keon Ellis, I feel like should stay. Malik Monk should stay.
What about Neek?
Neek Clifford also. Yeah, I want to keep Neek Clifford. And then the other guys I feel like are pretty much tradable. I do like DeMar DeRozan, but at this point, like you said, I'm not sure if they'll be able to keep him or not. And then
they owe it to him to move him if he can go to the Clippers or somebody.
Yeah.
For his standing and what he's done for the NBA for all these years, I think they owe it to him to try to get him someplace better.
Yeah.
If they can do something that works for everybody.
And then how do you feel about Devin Carter?
I think we don't know yet, and I think this year is about seeing what you got.
Yeah.
If you can include him in something that helps you get what you want, sure. But otherwise, I just hope that once the veterans are gone one way or the other, that he can play more so they can get a clearer idea.
Yeah.
Do we have a player here? Because they might. I know right now it doesn't look like it necessarily, but they might. Right. So they might as well find out.
Yeah, and it had to affect him being a point guard that was drafted in the first round. And then this whole offseason, we're like, we need a point guard. We need a point guard. We need a point guard. Well, what about me? I'm this point guard you guys just drafted in the first round. You're not even considering me at all. That had to affect him some type of way.
Yeah. Well, I know they tried him playing a lot of point guard in the summer league, and Kyle Draper and I talked to him on media day, and he's like, I'm not really a point guard. I can play that.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
So he feels like he's more of a two.
I think, yeah. And then, the whole thing with him is he hurt his shoulder, and I think that might still be affecting him. I don't know.
His shot's a little funky.
Yeah. I can't tell. Is your shoulder still hurt, or is that just the way you shoot?
Yeah. I don't know. Some guys like to put a lot of arch in him, but he really, over-exaggerates.
Yeah.
And, as soon as he shoots, it's like, oh, God, it's going to miss.
You shoot that way, don't you? I think I've seen you. What is that?
Pop shot.
Pop shot. Yeah.
I have a pretty fundamental shot, I would say, but I don't know. I wasn't that great of a shooter. Like, all my buddies seemed like they were able to hit threes and stuff way better than me, I was always the slasher. I was the guy that drove to the basket.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was always like that Kobe Bryant fan. I used to like, his style of play. I used to try to emulate him and Michael Jordan and all the guys I used to drive to the basket. I was a slasher, they would call
me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that if we ever play.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to stay off.
I know, right?
Go ahead and shoot it.
I know. I don't know. I'm a slashing I can do now. I might run somebody over nowadays. All this weight that I've gained. But I don't want to hold you up too much longer, Whitey. I know you got to get out of here. But I do have a little 49ers question.
Okay.
So it was pretty interesting what happened last night with Seattle
for the 49ers. Yeah.
beating the Rams. That was pretty cool. That was dope. I like that. And then, so it sounds like if the 49ers win out, they would be able in the Seahawks. Well, I guess the Seahawks can't win out because they play each other.
Right, exactly.
They brought up a situation on the broadcast last night to where all three teams would end up in a tie, but the 49ers would have the tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what that situation was, but it was interesting. And then Seattle won, so it's in effect, it could still happen.
Yeah, so the 49ers have the tiebreaker over the Rams, and then if they beat the Seahawks, they will have beaten them twice. They would have the tiebreaker over both of them.
And then they would have the same record.
Yeah, so they. But
wouldn't the Rams have one more, or did they just get their fourth? They just got their fourth. Okay, I get it now. Yeah. They just got their fourth. 49ers have 4, and if they beat the Seahawks, then they would have 4 losses. And then the teams would have to win out to all be tied, I guess. Or I guess the 49ers would be hoping for a Seahawks loss, right?
Well, it doesn't matter. If the 49ers win out, they beat the Seahawks, and then the Seahawks can't beat them.
And do you think it's going to happen? I mean, they have the Colts, which should be a victory.
Colts Monday night, the Bears, and the Bears run the ball well. The Seahawks game is going to be tough.
That's the last game of the season. Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a killer game. Yeah. Seahawks versus the Niners for the last. And that's going to be hopefully, it'll be to see who gets that number 1 spot, that number 1 position. It's coming down to the wire, and it should be pretty exciting. Yeah. As long as the 49ers can beat the Colts and the Bears are good.
Bears are pretty good, and both those teams run the ball really well, and that's kind of a weak spot of the 49ers. So these are not, slam dunks. It looks really great right now, but it's not like, they automatically will win these next 2 games.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, it's going to be a ride. It's going to be, yeah. And the defense is going to have to step up in both these games, but especially against the Bears and especially against the Seahawks. I feel like if we have any thought of winning,
After they play the Colts Monday, then they don't have to leave because if they win out, the last 2 games are at home, and then if they win out, they would play any playoff games at home too, and even the Super Bowl is at their stadium.
Oh wow, that would give them some super great odds. That would juice them up a lot. I'm sure they would love that. That would be great. That would be a great situation. So I'm rooting for that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we will. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for you today.
Happy holiday.
I know you got a show you got to do.
Do I? Is it time? Oh, man. All right. Thank you.
And I appreciate your time as usual. You're so generous.
Always, of course. I appreciate your time.
I really appreciate it.
And your sugar plum cheese Danish.
Yeah, hopefully that'll keep you wanting to do the show with me a little bit longer.
I wasn't sure. But like, whoa.
I know. Maybe you'll think I'm going to bring something like that again in the future, and we'll keep this going, and we'll keep the conversations going for you guys as well.